What's the biggest roadblock to making good decisions? Too much choice? Too little time? Often the chief culprit is simpler than you think. Our brains are hardwired to making quick, snappy judgments based on the information we have at hand, rather than the slow, methodical decisions we'd probably prefer. Put us under pressure and the effect gets even worse. Take a simple game, guessing the height of St. Paul's Cathedral. How would you get on? What height do you think St. Paul's Cathedral is?
Maybe
400 feet?
200 meters?
150 feet.
So I think it's 200 meters.
300 meters.
About 400 feet?
50 meters.
Yeah, 40 to 50.
Whew, 280, 300.
Was that meters or
Meters.
meters?
Yeah, yeah.
Well, what if I told you that the average guess is around 100 meters or 330 feet? You're allowed to change your answer now that I've said that. What would you think?
I'd say I'm a bit out.
Okay, well, you can change your answer. What would your new answer be?
120.
You can change your answer if you like to, or you can stick with yours. What do you think?
If I was to run that, it's maybe more 120, maybe
120?
150, yeah.
Would you change your answer?
150.
150 meters?
Yes.
Cool, thank you very much. And what if I told you that the average guess is more around 300 feet? Would you like to change your answer?
Oh, really?
Yeah?
No, I think that's too high.
Would you change your answer?
Probably not.
No, you're going to stick with what you are?
Yeah.
Oh, no.
No, you're going to stick with 200?
Sure, yeah.
Would you change your answer?
No.
No, you was going to stick with 600, 550?
Yeah, I would even go maybe a little bit higher. But
Okay. But of course, the answer isn't really what's important here. What matters is how we reason our way towards it. I caught up with Jez Groom, a choice architect and behavioural consultant, to find out how our guessers are thinking. Jez, what's going on in people's heads here?
Well, it's fascinating. It's known as the anchoring bias, and it's one of 150 different biases, and this one's really relevant for financial services and investing. And yeah, our brains like to make decisions quickly and conserve energy. They're known as cognitive misers. And when we draw that line in the sand, so you mentioned this 100 meters, our brains love that because it gives them this, I suppose, this line from which they can work from. And people don't like to deviate so much from that line because it sets what we call this anchor in their mind, and it can be very helpful sometimes. But sometimes I think when you're maybe in equities and you're buying at a particular share price, maybe not so helpful. So imagine you buy a share at a certain price and then it goes down. You're anchored by that initial price. It's gone down versus that initial price. But actually, when you look at the history of maybe how that equity's performed, it's got a big opportunity to grow. And actually, you might want to sit tight on that. And I think that's sometimes when anchoring bias can maybe be a little bit unhelpful with our decision making. I think it's been well documented in behavioural finance about overtrading can sometimes be quite detrimental. So for sure, I think having a good conversation with yourself or other parties, it may well be with the investment house you're with or with an advisor, and then setting through strategies depending on what your broader context is, what's your capacity for risk, what's your knowledge of that risk and what you can deal with. And that'll change over your life. And then make some strategic decisions that you review. So yeah, for sure, I think, doing too much is quite harmful. Doing nothing at all and being very passive, I think, is particularly harmful. But getting that appropriate balance to think about, well, how often should I be doing this? And how should I be doing this, I think is a really, really healthy thing.
Really interesting. Thanks very much, Jez.
Thank you.
There you have it. Successful long-term investing is as much about having a cool head as a full portfolio. And sometimes the best decision-making comes before the questions are even asked. Oh, and by the way,